Hey everyone, on the river. We have some pretty wild wind and weather coming through at the moment, but we're here, so we're gonna make the most of it, try and keep it simple and get stuck into it. So I've got two rods rigged up with me here. I've got my Yarra nymphing rod, a 10'6" 3-weight, and then I've got a 9' 4-weight for some nymph under dry and dry fly. The key when you are fishing in tough conditions, when you have wind, it's a bit tough, is just to keep it simple. So I'm gonna try and get as close as I can to the fish, minimize my casting distance, minimize times in the air and not in the water, minimize tangles, all of that stuff. Because ultimately it's just, when it's tough and the conditions are bad, you're never gonna catch as many fish as when you're in beautiful, still, calm conditions. So you just gotta make the most of it. So yeah, keep it simple, get close, flies in the water, and yeah, we'll catch some fish. All right, so I'm gonna start with a nymph under dry. Wherever it's flat enough for me to fish a nymph under a dry, I think I'm gonna do that just to give them the each way bet. And in the wind, it is nice. As some leaves and stuff fall down. In the wind, it is nice to have that bit of stick, that fly on the top on the water, your line's on the water, it's kind of out of the way of the wind. So fish up the edge, work my way out to the middle. And then I've got my nymphing rod. When I get up into some of the, you know, faster broken stuff where I can't fish this, or I just feel like it's not going to be the right way to fish, I can swap over into that. So much junk and stuff coming down the river. A nice drift. Just maybe a bit fast and deep. If that doesn't get eaten through there or that slack pocket, I'll fish it with two nymphs on my Yarra nymphing setup, just to make sure my fly is getting down. Wow, there's a lot of leaves and junk on the water there. Have fun picking that out, fish. It is crazy how they still do pick it out. They just find it somehow. See that bow in the indicator just from that wind. When it is like this, you do need to just weight your flies slightly more than you normally would, just to make sure that that wind, there's a nice fish, just to make sure the wind doesn't like pull your flies up and out of the water. Nice top dropper pheasant tail eater. Interesting, because I did fish a nymph under dry over that little piece there. Thank you, mate. just as that wind kicks in. Sometimes if it is really blowing in your face like that, you're better off just going, just gonna wait for that gust to kind of pass. Because you don't want to make the cast, get it in the great spot, fish eats it, but the control and everything's ruined because of the wind. Quite a nice slack edge over there. A nice slack pocket there. You can see how that indicator, everything's slowed down so much. Got it. Oh, had to be. There's just such a good soft nook there. I didn't really realize it was there until, you know, I fished my way across to it. It's a really good brown. Another top dropper fish. Come on, mate. That's a great fish. Look at that for a beautiful wild brown trout. Thank you, mate. Sneak up, throw a few casts up the left, or up around this treed bit before I go back to my best eye, just to make sure there's one not super shallow up here that I'll leave behind. It's a really nice pocket. It's just very, very swirly. Might use the opportunity. We've got this nice flat water here just above that first initial run. Just a good chance to again offer the nymph and the dry, especially if there is one up shallow that doesn't want to eat a nymph, that just wants to eat a dry. It's nice to give it the option. Go on. Whew. One advantage about fishing this type of water in these conditions is the water's broken, which means I can get quite close to the fish, and there's one like that. And nymphing is also a great technique when you are close to the fish like this. So despite it being horrifically windy, it's interesting, they've all been on that silver bead on the top dropper. Yeah, they kind of, these conditions and this technique almost go hand in hand, because you can use the weight of the nymphs to kind of keep you there in the zone, and they also help punch into the wind as well. Interesting though. I really would have thought I would have caught one nymph under dry on the edge, so I fished like close to this grass stuff up here when I threw nymph under dry through there. Oh, wow, another one there. That one just didn't hook up properly. They're in this fast stuff, in this fast broken stuff. The wind's blown up, so I'm just making sure I stay close, keep a low rod angle and stay close to my flies. Otherwise that wind's catching my line too much. This spot looks absolutely amazing, as does actually that little nook as well. Surely, when you look at this, that is the best spot that has to hold a fish. Like that. How textbook was that? It's so readable, this spot too. That's a really nice brown. It's definitely the hardest river to wade of any that I know about. It's lovely. Look at that beautiful brown. Thank you, mate. Well, whilst I'm untangling my flies from my net, I thought it would be a great opportunity to let you know that if you did want to learn more about this style of fishing, you can. By jumping over to my website, have a look, tomjarmanfishing.com. You can see when I have any upcoming clinics, river clinics, like Yarra nymphing clinics, dry fly clinics, or you could just book a day of guiding when it suits you. So jump over there and yeah, we'll get back into these fish. All right. See if there's another. It's a good spot. There could be one like another fish further up. And that one was about there, which is like the best spot. But you would have seen it took like, yeah, I think it took three or four drifts maybe to get it to eat. Or to get the drift right, I should say. See, there's a submerged tree. There's a fish. That fish was so tight to the edge. I made that cast because I was trying to dodge a submerged tree branch up there. This fishing is so good. Another pheasant tail eater. Thank you, mate. There's still a couple of other spots in that little bit there that could produce a fish like that. No way. That is too good. That is crazy. That's a nice one too. They're all just, I mean, it makes sense. These fish are all stacked in that soft pocket because this is just a big old section of fast water. I love the Yarra River. And the fish size is fantastic. Such beautiful, healthy fish. Thank you, mate. Well, how good was that rapid? That section of pockets, the fast flowing water behind me was awesome. Not much love for the nymph under dry. I did give it a chance up the edge, but ultimately the water was a bit deep and fast for it. And the fish were in some of those slack pockets amongst the fast stuff, and that's like perfect water to catch them Yarra nymphing with all your line off the water, the drifts, the quality of the drifts and the control is just amazing. So that suited it perfectly. The weather's held off, it's been raining intermittently, but I think the fish loved the stormy weather. Like, I think it was really good and they're a bit aggressive. So hope you enjoyed watching that. Don't forget, there are links to the gear that you can purchase in the description below. There's links to flies, all of that stuff. Check it out. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next video.